So we have 29.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. And
Gee.
hello, hello. Welcome everyone. Good afternoon. Seeing some familiar faces out there. Hi, hi. Nice to see you all. Hi, Mark. I see Dr. Lowe and Bradford from last year. Who else do I see? Rick. Glad you could join us. Susan. Excellent. Betty. Hi, hi. Okay, I am going to put something in the chat for us as we begin because I'm sure we're going to have a couple of people filing in over the next.
Shannon, we can't hear you.
Let's see. Can
At least
anyone
I
else?
can't hear you.
I
Yeah,
can't.
I can hear you.
I can hear
Okay.
her.
So
Dr.
Rachel,
Lowe, you may need to turn your volume up on your computer if
yeah.
you're having a hard time hearing Shannon, because she seems to be coming in loud and clear. Can everybody hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Gotcha. Yeah, so someone might also chat Dr. Lowe in case he can't hear us at all as we get started. So I'm hoping that we can all rename ourselves with our first names and the city in which we live. And the way that we do that is by hovering your mouse, your little pointer, over your own image. And you're going to see an ellipsis, a dot, dot, dot in the right-hand corner. If you click on that, a menu pops up, then you'll have the ability to rename yourself. So I'm going to say Shannon in Santa Fe. And that way, it'll help us to get to know each other, where we're all coming from and calling in from this week. And I know we have mostly folks from the Northern California region, but we also have a few people who registered on the East Coast. I don't know if I see any of them yet. But yeah, so it's just helpful to kind of make sure we know where everyone's coming from. Karen, looks like we see you. I'm glad that you made it on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I was just about to rename myself.
Oh, great. Okay, good. I know that you had a little issue with your Zoom app, so I'm glad
I
to see you on
did,
here.
but I got it fixed.
Perfect. Great, great.
Hi, Sharon. This is Susan Lopez Payan, and I just registered, I think, yesterday. But
Oh,
I'm
welcome.
driving, so I'm not going to be able to function on the video.
Okay, no problem. Are you going to be driving the entire time today?
No, no,
Okay.
about a half an hour. Mhm.
Okay. So we'll play that by ear. We're going to be putting people into breakout rooms in a little while, and
Oh,
so
I see. Okay.
we'll feel that out as we go.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, welcome, welcome everyone. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. So for those of you who might be new and didn't attend last year's PANC online workshop, my name is Shannon Elliott, and I am the manager of our InSync network at PMD Alliance. And InSync is basically our support group leader network that we have. So I provide trainings and resources and just try to get you all what you need in order to help your communities. So with that, I've got two staff members on with me. I've got Rachel and Kelly. So Rachel, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I am Rachel Steinberg. I am Community Network Manager here at PMD Alliance. And I am teaming up with Shannon this year for our latest version of our InSync support group leader training program. So I'm really excited to be here with everybody today and this weekend when we're together, and really looking forward to getting to know all of you guys and making the connections that are necessary to have in this community to help one another out. So thank you for allowing me to be here with you guys.
Thank you, Rachel. And Kelly, you want to say hi?
Sure thing. Hello, I'm Kelly Merkel, and I am the online programs coordinator. If you have joined any of our live streams, you may have seen my face. I tend to be on most of those doing tech and helping out with Zoom functions and whatnot. And I'm getting into helping a bit here and there with InSync. And that is, again, my role today is just making sure that we've got things functioning how they should. Technology is wonderful. And I'm glad to be here and excited to. This will be my first time going through an InSync program, so it'll be good to be with all of you, and we'll have a good few days.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Really grateful for your assistance. As you all know, if you have done any work on Zoom, any meetings, it's so helpful to have that backup, that tech backup. So just really grateful for Kelly today. So Susan, where are you calling in from? Susan Curry. I think there are 3 Susans. Let's see, I'm going to help you unmute. So I'm going to ask you to unmute and you're going to click a button on your screen and you can let us know where you're calling in from.
Davis, California.
Say that one more time.
Beg your pardon? Sorry.
Could you please tell me one more time the name of your city?
Oh, yes, Davis, California.
Davis. Wonderful. So I'll say Susan and Davis.
Yes.
Great. There
Thank
you
you.
are.
And we
Excellent.
can see you.
You can?
So we can see you and your name now.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you're all
I
set.
haven't yet found it, but I will.
And I see that Sean has arrived. So welcome, Sean. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yes, great, great. Okay, so even if we still get some more folks joining us, no problem with that. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen with you. I've got some slideshows, some presentations to get us started here.
Excuse me, may I ask, this is Colleen Winters, and I'm just signing on from my cell phone. Is it true the passcode is 31 letters and numbers and letters?
So Colleen,
Hello?
I got a little bit of that. So I hear that you're on a cell phone. And
Yes,
that,
I am. I apologize. The connection's not great. I'm trying to get on my desktop, and I just want to know, is it true? The passcode to this meeting is 31 letters and numbers?
Oh, well, why don't we send you, do you have the direct link that you received in the email? If you pull that up on your desktop and click on that link, it should open.
I
Kelly, I'm not sure if you'd be able to help Colleen with her tech issues, and I can continue with the presentation. Is
please
that
go
okay?
ahead. Sorry. Please go ahead. Sorry.
No problem, no problem. We can multitask, and that's the lovely part of having a team. And I see Karen's hand.
Yeah, I see Karen's hand up.
I wonder if it would be possible for the rest of us just to say a word or two before we get into the program, or do you have another agenda?
So I do have breakout rooms planned for later, and so you're gonna meet each other and introduce yourselves, or introduce someone else, basically. So we know who we all are.
Oh, okay.
Does that sound good?
No, sort of. Yeah.
That is part of the program for sure. We want to know who you are. Okie dokes. So I am going to share my presentation with you now. All right. And I'm going to take care of a couple of extra things here on my computer. I actually have 2 screens for the first time, which is very exciting and nerve-wracking. So I'll be dealing with that as we go into our presentation. I just want to make sure, Dr. Lowe, I can't see you right now. Can you hear us? Did he leave?
He changed his name. He changed his name to Fred Vallejo. Can you hear us now?
I'm here.
Perfect. There you are. Okay,
Great.
excellent. Just want to make sure that you could hear us before we began. All right, so are you
Can I,
seeing?
may I ask a question? How do you change your name on here? Because I'm not Leslie Cooper. I'm using her computer and we emailed in on her computer. So
No
I'm
problem.
not sure how to do that.
No problem. Just for time's sake, I think I'm going to do that for you, not Leslie, the other person, not Leslie. What is your first name?
It's Sherry, Sherry.
Okay.
Last name is Carter, Carter. And I'm calling from Roseville.
Roseville. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
That looks so much better.
More familiar, right? Okie doke. Is everyone seeing my PowerPoint screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. So, you may have joined us last year. Last year was our first online PANC workshop, and so just very happy to be here for year number 2 with a brand new curriculum. You all are our guinea pigs again, so hopefully you're up for that. Very exciting with brand new content. So you are helping us as we hone this information and make it worthwhile for everybody across the country. So I just want to thank Sean and Myron again for helping to get this to happen, and the PANC board and all of the sponsors just to allow this to happen. And I think based on the registrations, not everybody is here who registered, but I think we have about half and half. We have returning people, half, and then newbies. So that's a really interesting mix, I think. So we'll learn a lot from each other. And I'm just going to move forward to show you just the agenda for today. So we are going to talk about who is here, who are we, who's in the Zoom room, and get to know each other a little bit better. Just talk a little bit about why we're here. Why is it important that support group leaders are getting together at this point in time to learn from one another and how to help our communities. We'll talk about what we'll learn later in the week. We've got 3 sessions coming up. We've got Friday, 2 on Saturday, so a lot to learn. And then at the end of the orientation today, Sean and maybe Myron, I'm not sure, they're going to be talking a little bit about some housekeeping issues with PANC and just go into some material that they are going to lead. So that gives you a sense of what we are up to today. Okay, so we're going to start off with our collaboration agreements, and I like to go over this with our workshop participants each time because this gets us all on the same page and really just shows us what we are agreeing to. How are we going to behave? How do we make this a productive and respectful session? And just to keep in mind for you as support group leaders, whatever I'm doing and teaching and whatever Rachel is teaching, really think about how you can apply that to leading your group, if that makes sense. So with the collaboration agreements, you might think about little rules that you might have, rules of engagement for your groups, how you would like everybody to interact with one another. So starting off with muting your mic. I think we're all doing a really good job at that already, just in case there's any background noise. We just ask you to listen deeply and be very present with one another as we share. This has been a very, very difficult year and a half, and so we might have challenging stories and experiences. So just asking you to really listen and hear each other. And then we're going to build on that with this yes and, so that we steal that from the improv world. And so we always like to build on each other's ideas. So we might hear something and say, yes, I hear you. And I have this idea as well. Instead of breaking other people's ideas down or dismissing them, go ahead and build up and just say yes and to other people's ideas. Moving with intention, this is my favorite. I love this girl who's on roller skates. So we will find it's pretty amazing how quickly time passes, even if we have 2 hours, 2.5 hours in our sessions, so that when we share, just to keep in mind to keep things nice and tight when possible. And then last but not least, to please be patient with technology. So that's all the computer stuff, and that's me as the operator of these crazy apps and things like that. So just to let me know if you can't see or hear, and you've been doing a great job at that already. So thank you for that. And I think, who was it who is having trouble getting on? Is it Winter CF? Yes, okay, so you're muted right now, but if you happen to be on a different kind of device, if you're not on a desktop computer, if you're on a phone, or if you're on a tablet, the functionality is going to be different for you. So if that's the case, just bear with us. Kelly will be able to answer questions, so if you could just private message her and let her know
We're all
you're
set.
having
Thank you so
trouble.
much, Shannon.
Oh, sure. Excellent. And I'm sorry, can you please remind me your first name? So I don't call you
Colleen.
Winter CF.
Colleen Winters.
Okay, Colleen. Thank you, Colleen. I'm just going to rename you so I don't forget that. Colleen. Wonderful. Okay, and so before we get too much further, if I could see those of you who are on screen, if you could just do a little wave if you have never been on Zoom before. Has anyone never been on Zoom before? So I think we're pretty set. I just want to make sure that we all know where the important buttons are. And so do we know how to mute and unmute? So that's the microphone button in the bottom left-hand corner of your Zoom screen. So that will click your microphone on and off. Right next to that, another very important button is the video. So if you ever get into a situation where you need a break or you don't want to be seen, go ahead and click that video off button so you can have privacy. Is everyone on gallery view right now? So you can see the Brady Bunch picture of everyone's faces.
No, just 1, 2,
No,
3, 4.
okay. So in the top right hand corner, you might have to help me, Rachel, because I'm on presentation mode. But
Yeah, I think it's because you're on presentation mode that most people are just seeing your screen. So
got
you
it.
can
Yes,
really
of
only
course.
see a column of people on your right-hand side. And that's what you would see if it was gallery. When Shannon stops sharing her screen like that, is everybody in a gallery view? Is everybody Brady
Yes.
Bunch view?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
Yeah, I find that's helpful so we can see as many faces as possible as we communicate with one another instead of just one big face. Yes, it's a party, Sean. Awesome. Okay, I am going to share my screen again. There we are. Okay. So I also want to just invite you, if you happen to be, if you learn by drawing or writing, go ahead and have blank paper by your side and take notes or doodle, whatever you need to do. Or if you need to stand up at any time, grabbing water, stretching. If you need a bio break, go ahead and do what you need to do. We're not going to take like official breaks a lot, so go ahead and do that for yourselves. And I wanted to mention, I am recording this orientation today for folks who can't make it to the orientation but plan to come for the weekend. Sean had a question about whether we want to record the entire workshop for future reference. So Sean, I don't know if you want to say something about that. We will not be recording breakout rooms, so it's just whatever conversation is had in the main room would be recorded and would be shared amongst the participants after the fact.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon. We had some contacts at the PANC office about this training, and some people from around the country and around the state couldn't make the training, but they wondered if it was going to be recorded so they could watch it later. And I said, we really need to ask the participants to see if they're comfortable with that, and then let the group decide. And if that's okay with everybody, we will, and we'll share it. But if some folks are just like, I'd prefer not to record it, and we can not record it as well. So I just think probably if we do a kind of, if there's anybody who doesn't want to record it, if we could hear from them or get like a thumbs up or thumbs down, that might be helpful, just to see if it's okay with everybody.
And if you don't feel comfortable saying out loud, you're also welcome to private message Sean directly. So you do that from the chat feature. The chat feature is found in the bottom of your Zoom screen. You're going to open the chat column, and then in the menu, instead of sending a message to everyone, you open up that menu and look for Sean personally, click on Sean's name and send him a private message. Okay?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Of course. Alrighty, everyone. We doing okay so far? Sometimes I'm going to ask you for a little visual, can I get a thumbs up from you if everyone's okay? If anyone is not okay, go ahead and unmute yourself, and if you have questions, just let us know. Okay. Alrighty. Let's move forward. So I'd like to talk a little bit about what does it mean to be in sync. So that's the name of our support group leader program. And some people might ask that question, like, where does that even come from? So I think that I like to kind of demonstrate, how being in sync can be helpful for us. So there are actually many ways that we can be in sync with one another. So we can be in sync with each other here. So we are trying to get onto the same page. We're talking with one another and learning. We want to be in sync with our group members, right? So that we can be there for them and give them support and reliable information. We want to be in sync with the larger movement disorder community. So that could be nationally, internationally, and that's how we learn. That's how we find out about new research, things like that. We want to be in sync with our loved ones, those who are sharing this journey of living with a movement disorder. Yes, so just learning how to communicate better with them and how to be better partners, right? And then last but not least is really being in sync with yourself. So really finding that confidence and having that self-assurance that you're embodying your role as a support group leader in the best way that you can with your unique qualities and talents. So I just want to welcome you again to our 2021 workshop. Thank you so much for everything you do for your communities, and thank you for being here. That just says a lot in itself, that you are spending time learning and trying to be with one another just so that you can help those in your community. So thank you for that. So for those of you who are new and don't know my background, I am from a dance background, so I like to use a little movement to demonstrate things. I like to do some exercises and stretching breaks and things like that, so hopefully you'll enjoy that as we go along. But today I'd like to demonstrate what it's like to be in sync with our bodies, so not just with our minds. So last year, you might remember that we did a mirroring exercise, if you were with us last year. So a mirroring exercise is pretending that you're looking into a mirror, and I am your reflection, and so you are following my movements and you're really honing in to what I'm doing. So what I want to do is something similar, but I'm going to up the ante a little bit. So I'd like to add a couple of elements, make it a little more interesting, a little more challenging, if you will. So we're going to have a theme of sorts, and that theme will be nature. Okay, so things that you might find in nature that you really enjoy. And then I'm going to also add a little bit of music this year. Okay, so I am going to stop my share, and so I can spotlight myself, which will make me, let's see here. If I spotlight myself, then I should be larger and you can see me a little bit better. How does that work? All right, so with mirroring, and then again, this is something that you can do with your group members. So always be thinking about that, how you can apply this with the work you do with your group. So I'm going to find a nice little piece of music that I find to be inspiring. And I would like you to pretend that as you're looking into the screen, that I'm your reflection in the mirror. So anything I do, you follow. I'm going to move slowly, and I'm going to catch my inspiration from nature. And it doesn't even matter if you know what I'm thinking about. I would just like you to hone in on what I'm doing and follow me perfectly. All right, here we go. And let me know if you can hear that at all. Can you hear?
Yep,
Nice little
here.
Debussy, yes. Lovely French composer. Let's see, I don't want to knock over my water. That would not be good to start off. All right, so for yourselves, if you can make sure that you have a little bit of space around your body, around your arms, so you don't knock over a lamp. Yeah? All right, so here we go. I'm not going to speak. Lovely. I'm going to remove the spotlight, and I would love to have a volunteer. Can anyone speak up and let me know if you would be willing to lead our nature mirroring exercise? Not everybody at once, please.
Karen Davis.
All right, Karen,
I'm
you're
going
the
to
big winner.
spotlight you. I'm going to spotlight you now.
Here we go. Lovely. Oh, thank you, Karen. Beautiful. Could I have one more volunteer? Who's going to be the brave one? I'm just going to pick someone.
Susan in Yuba City.
Yes, all right, Susan. Here we go. beautiful. What a lovely way to end. Thank you, Susan. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to remove that spot. Oh, okay. So for anyone who spotlights or is spotlighted and you remove the spotlight, at that point, everybody goes into speaker view. So you're going to need to go to the top right-hand corner of your screen, look for view, and go back to gallery. All right. Is everybody back to gallery? And you can see the many squares. Lovely. Wow. Thank you so much. I just wanted to hear a little bit about how that felt. Does anybody want to reflect on how they felt with that? What was it like to hone in to other people's movement like that and watch their facial expressions?
I found it very relaxing and peaceful.
Great.
Yes.
It reminded me of theater and yoga classes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just kind of being present
Being present, very much so, and expressive.
Yeah.
Too,
and
right?
expressive.
Yeah.
That's the other word.
For both of you, Karen and Susan, I loved watching your facial expressions, and and when you mimic those, that just feels so good.
Did any of you see the birds that I was seeing? I'm a birder, so when I was pointing to the birds, and that was my sense of, yes, this wonderful outside we have with so many birds around us. Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. I wasn't sure if you were pointing at a beautiful mountain or not.
It's okay too.
That's fine too. So that's the beauty of art is the interpretation, right? So hopefully some of you see using, oh yes, does someone else have something to say?
I wanted to say I appreciated the synchronization. I think it helps the connection with strangers. I think it breeds connection.
Wow.
It's a nice tool.
Thank you. And that is a perfect segue, Colleen. So I wanted to point out some of the benefits of doing a mirroring exercise. So we talked about it building presence and awareness of nonverbal cues. So it really clues us in to how people are doing emotionally. Again, enhancing emotional understanding and empathy for other people. And then encouraging cooperation, concentration, creativity, and using both sides of the brain. Yeah, so really getting in sync with others in a different way. Yeah, so thank you all for participating in that. Yes, Rachel.
I was just going to add one thing that I really enjoy about this exercise is that it allows the participants to not have anything in their brain at that moment besides trying to follow what the person on the screen is doing. And so in a sense, like everything else sort of just disappears from what's going on in your world, and all you have to focus on is that person on the screen. Right. And all you can be is mindful of that, and everything else disappears for the moment. And I think that that's another part of being in sync.
Exactly. It's almost like a moving meditation, I think. And so sometimes you can do this in this exercise just with one other person, like this photo here, or you can do it in a group setting. If you were in a circle per se, you could go around the circle and have different leaders and then the whole group following one person. So those are a couple of ways that you can do this with your groups. Okay, so I am going to advance to the next slide that Rachel is going to address. About PMD Alliance and our ecosystem. This is our fancy ecosystem.
Yes. So many of you already know who we are and what we do, but PMD Alliance is a organization that is here for everybody who is in the world of the person with the movement disorder. So there's many organizations who are, raising money and researching the cure of Parkinson's, and that's wonderful. We need those organizations. But what we realized a number of years ago is that there was a gap where there wasn't a lot of resources and things available for the folks that had the disease at that time, and ways to live their lives in the best ways. So our organization really focuses on the entire ecosystem. So we don't necessarily focus directly on the person with the disease. Rather, we focus on all of these networks that surround that person with the disease. And in turn, by boosting and boasting and really intensifying what we can offer to all of the outside networks, we're able to then in turn help that person live with Parkinson's their best life. So here we are in the community network, which is where support group lives, and our InSync network really focuses on those people in the ecosystem. Let's help those support group leaders, who then will in turn be able to support the folks that they work with on a daily basis that are living with Parkinson's. So we're able to then have a greater effect on the community by teaching you to help the community. So I think that that's such an important part of what we do as an organization, along with all the education about all the medications and all the support groups that we have, and everything that we offer. Something that's very unique to the Parkinson's world is this InSync support group leader network, and the fact that we really want to make sure that the entire world of people with Parkinson's is better taken care of and can live a better life because of all of the support and all of the network of surrounding help that they have. So I hope that that sort of gives you an idea of what we do and what our focus is in the grand world of Parkinson's, and how we play a part in helping people live their most fulfilled lives.
Thank you, Rachel. Great. Okay. So next, I would like us to take a little bit of a poll. It's just going to be a short 3-question poll. And there are a few reasons why I like to do that. It's a way for us to just capture information about who you are and how you're arriving to our workshop and what you're interested to learn. It's a way for you to get to know each other a little bit better. And it's also a way for you to practice working with Zoom and understanding the different features that are offered. So I'm going to stop this share, and I am going to now share the poll with you. Okay, so we've got 3 questions here that I'd like you to consider. The first being, what do you want to prioritize in your support group meetings moving forward? So we have 4 different options there. Educational content, guest speakers, emotional support and sharing, or a combo. And question number 2 is, how important is it that your group members know each other? How high on the list of priorities is the social aspect? And third, what makes your group gel? Yeah? What makes it a nice group to attend and makes people want to come back? So is it the refreshments, the cookies and coffee? Is it the little chit chat before and after? Or the deep discussions, feeling like you can really share your emotions with others, or even social activities? All right.
And I must say, I'm glad to see that nobody has said that the most important part is sharing refreshments. There's other important things in our groups than having refreshments. Thank God.
Yeah, sometimes a pizza party is fun. All right, we're getting, let's see.
I want to check this.
But it's not letting you?
Well, I thought, okay, do I hit enter? Do I hit this?
Okay,
I try on the
Sherry?
on the
Sherry,
phone.
are you having a hard time with the polling
I just
question?
asked
Yes,
Leslie, I was having it. I will tell you, I've just started almost like being a companion to somebody. So I don't lead any groups. I'm here for like emotional support to the family, to help them out. I'm helping out just a couple days a week. Leslie's mother is doing actually very well. I was surprised. There really doesn't seem to be any, shaking. She's smart as a whip. So it's difficult for me to answer these. I thought emotional support and sharing, I think, is important, is probably kind of what I do. And I think that's important, but I don't have a group except for the family.
No problem, no problem.
Yes.
You're still providing support for others. So we're glad that you're here. We're glad you're here. So we are getting most of the responses in, and so a combination of educational content, guest speakers, and emotional support is that not surprising. So this is great. Number 2, as far as the social aspect, very important. That's really good to hear. We know social isolation is a really big issue for our folks, even before COVID and especially now. And then number 3, what makes your group gel? So the casual interactions, deep discussions, and then a little bit the social activity. So this is interesting, just to sort of see where everyone is coming in from and what their interests are in learning. Yes. Who's speaking?
Sherry brought up an interesting point. Is everybody that's attending, other than Sherry, have a support group they already facilitate, or is there anyone in the group that is wanting to learn how to facilitate a group? I don't know if you took that information down when we all registered, or it'd be just kind of nice to know if we all have support groups or where we're at in that regard.
For sure. And we will be doing introductions here in a minute. And so we'll be able to hear about everybody in the room. And so we can cover that. And we are hoping that there are prospective support leaders here.
Can you hear me? Since I clicked on the survey, I'm no longer in the meeting.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Or at least I'm not visually in the meeting. I can hear you.
You are in the meeting. So Karen, just go on to the bottom of your screen on your computer, and you see the blue video camera, which is the Zoom. Click on that and we should be back on your screen.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know why that happened.
That's a nice pro tip to have. No problem. Okay. So let's see here. I am going to close out this poll. Alrighty. Great. Okay, so sharing my PowerPoint again. We'll go over what is expected in our little breakout room session. All right, so we're going to be partnering up. So as the host, I have the capability just to randomly put you in a room with someone else, and hopefully you'll meet somebody new today. Once you get to your room, you're going to have about 8 minutes, about 4 minutes apiece, to talk to one another. And I would like you to address these questions here. So when you introduce yourself, talk about where you live, what kind of support group you lead, if in fact you are a support group leader, or if you're a prospective support group leader, or in Sherry's case, she has a different role. So we'd like to hear about that. How long you have been a support group leader, if that's appropriate. And then this is the fun thing, one thing that you are excited about, either with your group moving forward, something that you'd like to explore, or just something in your personal life that you're excited about. And so you have 4 minutes to talk to your partner about those things. You might want to have some paper to write down the things about that your partner says, and because you are going to introduce your partner to the group. All right, so we're not introducing ourselves when we come back to the main room. You're going to introduce your partner. And with that, to hopefully keep things moving along, what I'm calling this is our 2-breath introductions. So take a deep breath and you have blah, 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 sentence, and then another deep breath and then sentence. So it's basically 2 breaths of information that you're going to be able to get out about your person, right? So even though they might share a lot of amazing things with you, we just don't have the ability to share 4 minutes apiece about the other person. Okay, so does that make sense to everyone? Can I have a thumbs up if everyone is understanding? All right, and so some of you who do not have your videos on, then I don't know if you're able to participate in this fully. So I hope, oh great, so Christy and Stockton, thank you. Sherry and Elk Grove, wonderful. Colette and Charisse, are you there?
Therese is there.
Okay.
She's having a bad hair day, so apologize. She won't be on the screen, but she'll talk.
But she will talk. Okay. Excellent. So I am going to right now, for everyone to reference, I am going to paste in the chat the 4 things that I'd like you to talk about with your partner. Okay. And so you'll be able to see that once I send you away to your breakout rooms, which I am going to do now. All right. So with this is a manual situation, and I'm going to have to do a little finagling because Rachel and Kelly do not need to be in a room. Let's see. There we go.
Do I need to do a song and dance?
That would be good if there's anything that you have to sing or dance about.
Oh, well, I can tell everybody that there's one more day for the Inspire Me raffle that we have going on through PMD Alliance. It's all artwork and wares that were created by people in the Parkinson's community. And we have a raffle going on. It ends tomorrow. Kelly, would you be good enough to put the link for the raffle in the chat? People can check it out at their leisure, not now during our orientation, but afterwards. Please feel free to check out what's offered and feel free to bid or donate.
That was perfect. It was like a little commercial break. I loved it. So the breakout rooms are ready, and if you've not done breakout rooms before, you're going to automatically be zoomed over into a little room with your partner. And the same thing applies coming back. I'll send you a halfway notice saying 4 minutes have passed. Then you will receive a 30-second warning before you are zipped back to the main room, and then we will go around and put the people being introduced in the spotlight, and so we get to learn a lot about each other. Okay, is everyone good? Yes. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to open all rooms, and
See you guys in a little bit.
See ya on the other side. Enjoy. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you had a nice time.
We were having a good time. You cut
I
us off.
know. I have to shut down the party, but let's just party together.
Looks like everybody made it back to the room, so that's
Yes.
good news.
Very good news. Okay, so we're gonna do our 2-breath introductions, and we're gonna go room by room. So if we could start with room number 1, which was Colette and Carmichael, and Susan and Davis, so we get to know each of them better. There's Miss Colette and Susan and Davis. Wonderful. If you could both, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Why don't you start, Colette, and introduce Miss Susan?
All right. Susan is a neighbor of mine since Carmichael and Davis aren't too far apart. She's been the coordinator for 3 years of the Davis group, and they are still meeting, some of them on Zoom, which I think is wonderful. I'm very impressed. And they have a newsletter, which that also impresses me. And the thing she's excited about was exactly the same thing I was excited about. When can we all get together again?
Amen to that. Thanks, Colette. Nice job. Okay, Miss Susan.
The thing I admired about Colette's approach, Colette, let me say, Colette has been a coordinator for about 1 year. And what I like about her approach is that she's got to know people who don't want a whole lot of verbiage in anything she sends. So she only sends information about larger courses and speakers if they're interested. There might be 4 or 5 people in her community who do. The other thing, this is my second breath, she lives and facilitates in the same area, Eschaton Village. And so she sees people from her group regularly. And so the COVID break hasn't been so serious because she sees them all the time. And I think that's a wonderful situation to be in.
Wonderful.
So I guess I've run out of time. I could say more.
Of course.
Enjoy doing it.
Thank you so much. Nice to have you, Colette and Susan. Okay, moving to room number 2, which was Charisse in Washington, D.C. She's representing the East Coast, and our Myron from PANC. There's Myron. And Charisse, we might just get her name. I don't think she's on video today. Let's see here.
Okay. Am I unmuted now?
You are live.
Okay. I was at a disadvantage since I couldn't see Charisse. It was her name only, but I found out that she is a rep for a pharma. She travels a lot with that. She's here to learn more about support groups because that will help her in her presentations with going around the country and talking to other people. She's been a caregiver for her husband for 22 years. He has Parkinson's. That's basically what we talked about. So that was good.
Wonderful. Thanks, Myron. Get to meet somebody from across the country.
And I'm so sorry, I haven't been able to spotlight Charisse. And it may be because she is not on video, but if she talks, we could put the spotlight on her now.
Can everyone hear me?
We can hear
Yes.
you, and that may be all we can do. So we just won't see your name listed. But thanks for joining us, Charisse.
I had a wonderful conversation with Myron. Of course, he is out of California, which is the West Coast. He's about 15 miles outside of Sacramento, and he is a fabulous support group leader. He was a caregiver for his wife for many years, and he currently has a support group now that he does online. His last support group meeting was in person about 2 weeks ago with about 15 people in attendance. He currently has an email listing of about 100 members, but before COVID, that got smaller and smaller, and he only had about 35 people. So he's really hoping that his list of 100 people will come back strong. He currently does Zoom calls with his current people, but he also does in-person support group events. Those events allow people, doctors, etc., to come in and do presentations via Zoom, and that has truly increased his numbers. He's also found that in the Parkinson's community that caregivers are definitely needed for mental as well as physical support. They mostly have friends and family and neighbors to support them. He has teamed up with 4 major medical groups in Sacramento, and he also assists with sponsored events. Those are inside and outside of the hospitals. And these events help Parkinson's patients understand not only the advancement, but research into Parkinson's disease. He's also participated in the California Parkinson's Registry, and this registry assists Parkinson's patients not only to come together to support one another, but as well as their family members. And with this registry, they're able to locate Parkinson's patients in the California area.
Thank you, Charisse.
Thank
What a
you.
lovely introduction to Myron. Wow, you have quite the memory, I have to say. That was impressive. Okay, thank you so much. Let's move to room 3, please, for Bradford and Christy in Stockton. All right, and you'll need to unmute yourselves. Why don't we start with Bradford introducing Christy, please?
Yes, Christy was my partner. She's from Stockton, California. And Christy runs a support group there. And she lost her, I guess her partner, her best friend, to help her run the group. They were facilitators. She helped her run the group, and unfortunately and sadly, she passed away. And she's running the group by herself now. And one thing about the group that's, I guess she likes to work on, kind of turning around, is the group is more older people, and don't have the, I guess most of the things that like with my group, when we have newer people come in, we're able to help them more by the experience that we've been through. We have a group that's more populated with older patients. Everyone has been through it and everyone has done it. There's nothing really new that you can pass on unless there's someone new come to your group. Anyway, that's one of her wishes, that she could get the group a little younger. She's excited about the conference coming up, PANC conference, and she can't wait, like myself, to hear Jimmy the Ninja, speak. That's going to be nice. She's excited about that. Her husband has Parkinson's. And she's a caregiver, obviously, for him. And that's about all I got down.
Yes, that's great. Thank you, Bradford. Thank you so much. And Christy.
Okay, Bradford lives in Fairfield, but his group is in Benicia. He's been the leader for 2 or 3 years. And he said the group was much larger in attending before COVID, but I guess you're still going forward with it, and he's still got 4 to 5 people attending. I asked him, how does he get his referrals? And he said, PANC gives some referrals. The city of Benicia, I guess your group is on the website, and also UCSF. So, those are really good places to put your support group notice on there, because people, as well as your neurologist. Bradford says that he has a strong, knowledgeable group, which is wonderful. And I guess you have transitory people that come through, probably because they find out that, that you have a meeting and from these various sites, and then they come in. You're in Benicia, so you're in the Bay Area. And so the demographic there is different, say, than in the Central Valley, where we tend to be, we've been here for a while. I think the Bay Area, you have probably a lot of transition going on, because
exactly.
It's the Bay Area. It's not It's not, agricultural land like what we're used to. We're both excited about watching Jimmy Troy I guess he's the keynote speaker for the PANC conference, because we missed out on that last year with a Zoom. And so, hopefully we'll be able to move forward and have our lives back. So did I forget anything, Bradford?
Thank you. Just on spot. Oh, good. That's me.
Okay.
All right. In a nutshell. All righty. Thank you
Oh,
both.
I'm sorry. Can I mention one thing?
Sure.
My, I guess my coworker, she's a facilitator also. She's here today, Leanne Colley. She's right
great.
there.
I see. She's in Hawaii.
She's
Yes.
just involved with me in the group as I am.
Wonderful. Can't wait to hear about Leanne as well from her partner.
Yeah, her background's pretty pretty enticing. We vote for that plan.
Well, thank you both. Let's move forward, please, to room number 4 with Jim Morris and Mark in Healdsburg. There's Jim. Hello, Jim. And there is Mark. All right. So, Mark, since you are unmuted, why don't you go ahead and start by introducing Jim, please?
Jim is from Carmichael, where he helps lead a large group of about 100 members. 70 or so are active. He himself was diagnosed in 2008 and has been active facilitating the group for about 10 years. And he's excited about moving to hybrid meetings coming up soon, maybe next month.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mark. All right.
I'm glad Mark went first, because we found out we were joined at the hip. Everything he said about his group, even himself, I nodded and then he nodded. And we've had the disease the same length of time. We are involved with a great sizable group. We both said that our excitement is in seeing how the technologies meld together with the Zoom and live meetings simultaneously. And I'm excited about that, and the fact that we'll see how many members we have show up at our live meeting on the 19th. Mark's from Healdsburg, and he was first diagnosed for 3 years with essential tremor. So they were treating essential tremor for him, and I guess he had some catching up to do when they finally rounded up the rest of the diagnosis. And he's the vice president of programming for his support group, and he operates the Zoom meetings too. And had a nice smile on his face. Did I miss something, Mark?
No.
That's great. And just to hear you too, that's what I hope, is that you can make connections and keep friendships moving forward from this workshop. So that's really nice to hear. Thank you so much to Mark and Jim. Moving forward to room number 5, which is Fred, Dr. Lowe, and Jerry Miyamoto. All righty. Fred, you are unmuted.
Well, Jerry is a prince of a man. That's his wife next to him. And as you can see, he's taking really good care of her. So she's had Parkinson's for 20 years. And I told him that she looks younger than he does. So he's the co-facilitator for his group in Sacramento. And he's been there for been the co-facilitator for about 2 years. The important thing also that he didn't mention, but we mentioned in the past that he also used to be on the board of the Parkinson Association, even before that. So he's a real integral part of PANC. So he's a really good man. So his group, unfortunately, is small, and it's been difficult for him to grow the group because the previous facilitator really did not do the group justice, and people just left the group from not having a good experience there. So it's been really hard for him and his co-facilitator, David, to rebuild the group back up. So anybody who has suggestions on how to do that he welcomed that with open arms. Anything else, Jerry? He knows how to celebrate. This is not like Leanne's background. This is his real background. You can't see very well now, but it's a gorgeous view in the background from where
The ocean?
He's in Pismo Beach.
Oh, wow.
And so they're celebrating his wife's birthday with his two sons and their grandchildren. So
and daughter.
And daughter, sorry.
Wonderful.
So they know how to celebrate, they know how to live. They're wonderful people.
Excellent. Great intro
And
there.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Jerry, we've heard all about you. Now let's hear about Fred.
Well, I've had the pleasure of being in communication with Dr. Lowe for several years. He is from the Bay Area, and he is now on the PANC board. He's retired, caring for his wife, and he's been a wealth of knowledge for me. Whenever I have any problems, I email him, and he's promptly answers. And he's also always giving tips that I could pass on to our support group, and tips about equipment. What was it? What was the Next Stride? He's advised us on Next Stride, which is a device that helps people with unfreeze when they freeze. And he's passed on information that I could pass on to our group members. Most recently was about dance, the choir, the Parkinson's choir group that's starting. So he's been a very dedicated supporter of Parkinson's, and I really appreciate it. And coincidentally, I thought we had met before, but he says we haven't. So it was great to see who has been helping me all this time. Thank you, Doctor.
That's wonderful. Mutual fans. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Okay, let's move to room number 6, please, which is Karen, Egan, and Davis, and Kim and Redding. I'm going to mute myself and close my doors. We have a little rain squall coming through, and it's kind of loud, so I'm going to go do that really fast.
Water?
I know.
Rain, oh my gosh.
Okay, who wants to introduce who? Kim, why don't you introduce Karen?
Okay. Well, Karen is from Davis. She's originally from Oakland. She cared for her husband who had Parkinson's. He passed about 10 years ago. She moved to Davis because her family's there. That's what we do. Want to be with family. She has a support group that's exclusively with care partners. And I think that's really cool. Sometimes there's another group that does the people with Parkinson's. There's a little overlap, but not so much with hers. She's been a facilitator of her support group for about 3.5 years. And they met throughout all of COVID. They met in the park. And even when it was raining, they found shelter, which I thought, wow, that's cool. And she's way excited about the fact that they take care of each other. They lost 3 people in the past year, and they kind of rallied around each other, and they took care of each other. And I think that's part of the support group, is how you take care of each other. So I was really impressed with that. And Karen and I could have kept talking, by the way, too. So just saying.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, Miss Karen.
Well, this is Kim. She's a nurse, as well as being the leader of a Parkinson's group. And her husband has Parkinson's disease. And yeah, no, I got that wrong. Okay, sorry about that. And they also have been meeting in the park part-time, at least. Her group is called Coffee in the Park, although it's a very large group. I believe you told us, Kim, that you have people that have Parkinson's disease, caretakers, and others who might be interested in finding out more about Parkinson's disease. And they often have speakers, and the group could be as large now as maybe 40 people, although I think you said it was larger before COVID and you had to change your strategy. Yeah. So they meet 2 times a month. And I asked her, how do they handle with having that many people in a group, the ability to communicate with each other. And she said that whenever they have a speaker, who she vets the speakers first, she makes sure that they leave plenty of time for after the presentation, that the other folks have a chance to ask questions or to speak or to respond to the speaker. So I thought that was quite a task to manage all that with that many people. So good for you, Kim. Thank you. Yeah. And Kim lives in Reading. I don't think I said that.
Wonderful. Thank you both. Lovely to meet you both. Moving to room number 7, Sherry Carter and Susan in Sacramento, please. Aha, Susan made it home.
I did. Thank you very much.
Shannon, I don't think the other one introduced herself, did she? Yeah.
Say that one more time, Colleen.
I don't think the other lady checked in, did she, or did I miss it? No.
You mean Sherry Carter?
Yes, the nurse didn't say about the other gal, did she?
Did I skip? I got up, so.
No, Kim went first.
I
and,
apologize.
Introduced us to Karen, and then Karen introduced us to Kim.
Forgive me, that's what I get for multitasking.
I know what you mean, Colleen.
No worries. It's on the recording. You can look at it later.
Okay,
so
Susan, Sherry first.
I'm happy to introduce Sherry. We got along great from the very beginning. Sherry is my neighbor because I live in Sacramento and she lives in Roseville, although she grew up in Loomis, California. And she does not have a group at this time. And Parkinson's is new to her, but she's also on a new venture because she retired and she wanted a part-time gig. And she likes caring for people, and she's done that for her parents and others. And so she is now going to be a caregiver for 2 days a week with someone that, they found each other. So she's just getting started with that. So she's learning about this person and what her needs are. And she wanted to learn about some activities that she could take this person to, some physical activities. And so I'm active in lots of physical activity things. And we exchanged emails so that we could talk to each other further. But I'm going to invite her to my Dance for PD class, which has been online for the last year or something, and all different levels of mobility folks join us, and you guys can too, since it's virtual at this point. So let's see, what else can I say? She is very excited about her yard. She's redone her backyard. It's her sanctuary. She wants a place to relax, and she's just loving it and relaxing this summer. How did I do, Sherry?
You
You're
gotta unmute
muted.
yourself, Sherry. You gotta
muted.
unmute.
But I could tell it was good, though. I could tell it was good.
Just by her facial expressions. Let's see. I'm going to ask you to unmute. You'll get a button on your screen there that you can click.
Okay,
There you go.
There you go.
Hi. Yes, Susan, you did great. You took some of the things that I was going to say that we had, swapped emails and things like that. I was so excited to actually get to partner with you on this. So the person that I'm introducing you to is Susan. She's from Sacramento, and she's right. I mean, she's about probably 9 miles from where I live. So we're really close. I was excited to find out that she's kind of in the same boat as me as far as doesn't head a group. She has early onset of Parkinson's, she did tell me, but she's very involved with different activities, which is what I'm really looking for the person that I'm companioning with. So that was very exciting. Susan has recently taken up paddle boarding and is loving it. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have the core to do it. She says she's doing great with it. So she's an inspiration. I'm going to have to try it out myself.
Wow.
And she actually is still working, and she is a facilitator or consultant, excuse me, for a chronic disease company. And she does training, facilitating. She works very closely with the CDC. So I found that very interesting.
Perfect.
Is there anything else, Susan, that I may have missed? I could give them your email address if you want.
No. We don't know these people. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, thank you both. Great intros. Lovely to have you.
What I would like to know is what Susan's camera is, because she looks gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know what my camera is. It's a Surface laptop computer.
Yeah, because the lighting is wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, your image is really good on the screen.
Oh, okay.
I agree. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, it looks almost 3D, almost like it's in 3D.
Oh, well, I do have a blur. There's a trick.
The blur is great.
Blur is great because I found out on a meeting that I have these shelves behind me, my bookshelves. And I, of course, have books on there, but I also have like figurines and photographs and all these personal things. And one day I was speaking to this group on Zoom, and I see my friend who's also my colleague, and she's looking at all my doodads, and I'm like, oh, no. We better put that on. That's not what people want to see.
A good Zoom trick to have in your back pocket.
It is.
How do you do it?
Yeah, how do you do it?
There's a video symbol down at the bottom of your screen. There's a little arrow that's pointing up right to the right of that icon of the video. Click on there and it'll say virtual backgrounds.
Yes.
And then there you can play around with that. You can put your own photos in there. I've got some with llamas and flamingos, or yourself in India or whatever you want. So you just play around with that and you'll find a way to upload those photographs. And there's also something called blur, and it'll put your background wherever you are on a blurred status so people can't see exactly.
So that it comes under which one to choose, under choose virtual background?
Yeah.
Where is this on the screen, Susan?
It's at the bottom of the screen if you have a laptop or a hard drive computer, real computer, and it says video. And next to it to the right, there's a little carrot that's pointing up. Just go in and explore in there.
Oh, good.
There are lots of little tips and tricks and fun tools that you can use in Zoom, and we can help you with any of those things if you'd like. Just let us know. Send us an email. We can help. Thank you so much, Sherry and Susan. Okay.
Thank you, ladies.
Moving forward to room number 8, and I just want to do a little time check for us. So we are running short on time. So if we could try to stick to the 2-breath introduction for the last 6 rooms, and then there'll be enough time for Sean and Myron to do what they need to do before the 5 o'clock 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock
6
and
o'clock.
yes. Okay. So Colleen and Sean, please.
Sean, do you want me to go?
Go ahead. Yeah, that'd be great.
So Sean facilitates the support group. He lives in Sacramento, and he has facilitated the support group with his mom, Judy, for 5 years. And Judy was diagnosed with Parkinson's back in 2011. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to meet for the last year. It's been over a year actually since they've been able to meet. They tried to do Zoom, but they haven't had a good participation in doing the Zoom. Sean is very involved in COP, which is Cancel Out Parkinson's, and it's on September 18th. It's a walk that has several participants and a fundraiser, right, Sean? He's also very excited and very involved in the annual conference, which I'm blown away has 1,000 people participating in Roseville, which is very cool. Anything else, Sean, I should offer? You're working full time in Sacramento with
PANC board too. So we're just doing a lot of work trying to help people with Parkinson's. So thank you, Colleen.
Great, thank you.
Colleen Winters lives in Healdsburg. You can see from her office, she's in the healthcare business, does everything from
Napa.
Licenses, Napa, social work, and mental health counseling for patients. So she's a support group leader for Napa Valley Parkinson's support group, about 100 members on the email, 30 people attend. Been a little slower with the COVID times, but trying to get that back and going. She's very excited about a tennis tournament this week, and that she's going to compete and win and tell us all about it next year and hold up a trophy and say, I did win from 2021. So that's Colleen.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Colleen and Sean. Okay, let's do room number 9, which is Carolyn in Carmichael and Maureen in Galt. Maureen is unmuted, so why don't we start with her? Okay. Introducing Carolyn.
Yeah. Okay, Carolyn is not a facilitator, but she is on the PANC board. And she handles or prepares the newsletter that PANC sends out. So I think a lot of you are familiar with that. And it's a really good newsletter. So I want to thank her for that. Her husband had PD and 12 years, I think, and that, and after he passed, she just decided to, refocus her attention on helping other people deal with the same journey. And so she's on the board, and right now she's really looking forward to this wonderful conference coming up on October 23rd.
Thank you. I am delighted to introduce Maureen. She lives in Galt, but she's a co-facilitator for the Lodi support group. She's been doing that for 5 or 6 years now. They joined that group, I think, when it started in 2008. She's excited about getting back together. And she shared a saying that you're all going to want to write down. This was from someone in their group who has advanced to the point where she can no longer participate. But she said, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And I thought that was really a good piece of advice for all of us.
Isn't that the truth? Thank you. Thank you so much, Maureen and Carolyn. Lovely to have you. Thanks for joining.
Can you tell us again what that quote is?
Okay. Go for it, Maureen.
I'll put it in the chat for everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Rachel. All right, let's go to room number 11, which was Betty in Sacramento and Leanne, Bradford's partner in crime. All right, Karen.
I shouldn't be on.
No, let's see, Betty.
Betty, yeah.
Looking for Betty. There we are. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, Leanne, would you like to start?
Sure, I'll be happy to. I'd like to introduce you to Betty, who is from Sacramento. And we had a really nice conversation about how successful or not successful our groups have been during the pandemic. And she's a caregiver for her husband who has Parkinson's. She belongs to a large group of 50 people and they are doing Zoom. She co-facilitates this group, so does a lot of the grunt work for them. They invite other groups to their meetings so that they are able to, especially if they have a good speaker coming, they'll invite other people. And I think that's a really good idea. I'm going to look into doing that ourselves. I think that was really good to know about. And we talked about getting back together when we are trying to do this in August, but I've been kind of waiting to see what PANC was going to do with conference to give us some guideline on which way to go, whether we should start meeting in person again or stay on Zoom. I'm concerned about trying to do it a hybrid, mainly because you have to have a projector, as I understand, and I don't think that we have anything like that. So we're going to either have to stay on Zoom or we meet at a local church, my co-facilitator's church, and we were gonna try to do that in August. But we'll see what happens. But it was really a pleasure talking to you, Betty. I really enjoyed it.
And it worked well for me also, Leanne. I enjoyed talking to you. Leanne is from Benicia. She's a co-facilitator for a group. They have been using Zoom. We shared the dilemma that we also planned on meeting in person in August, but things have been going south and not doing very well. A thing that I thought was very much fun, they've chartered a bus to go to, for their group, to go to the conference if that's going to be held, and they're going to be that'll be one of the social events they're going to be doing. She's been a facilitator for about 2 years. And one of the things that she gets excited about are speakers that can give hope and inspiration. And I loved her picture in the background and brought back good memories.
Excellent. Thank you both. Oops. Can you hear me? Okay, I think I'm unmuted now. Thank you both. Lovely to have you. Let's see. Room number 12 is Jennifer and Sherry in Elk Grove. There's Jennifer. And Sherry. Hi there. Jennifer, would you like to start?
Sure. So very happy to meet Sherry. She's from Elk Grove near Sacramento and is a prospective support group leader. She currently acts as backup for her support. And they've just restarted meeting on a monthly rotation where they have speakers. They rotate having speakers or Q&A sessions. And they also usually throughout the year plan a couple of social events as well. She is excited while her symptoms are stable and she's feeling good. She's excited to help out other people while she can and learn as much as she can.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, Sherry.
Sherry.
Well, Jennifer was a delight to speak with, and I was really impressed because she established an exercise group. It's on Zoom 5 mornings a week. She has 8 to 12 people who do like an hour's worth of exercise videos. And in addition to that, she's also started a monthly support group as well. And about 10 people she said have come, and they have some social things too. They're going to do a potluck. So she's just done this all on her own. I was really impressed by that. I think this has been going on, well, since the pandemic, I think somewhere in there. And she's really excited about learning more about Parkinson's disease. She said she wants to fight it and she needs to know all she can about it. And she's also excited about, she's had to stop doing something she's been doing since a child, which is horseback riding. And she's getting ready to start that up again. And because you may not have noticed that Jennifer is British, and she actually rides, her horse riding is dressage. So that was also very impressive that to do that. And she set up a group there in Grass Valley, where she's from, called Saddle Pals, or was participated in that to help kids. So anyway, I was real impressed with Jennifer, and I'm really glad I had a chance to speak with her.
Thank you. So nice to meet both of you. Okay, let's go to 13, which is Charlene in Lodi, and Judy. There's Charlene and there's Judy. So there we go. Why don't you start, Charlene? Hi.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. This is Judy. She lives in Sacramento. She's been part of a fairly small group for about 7 or 8 years, and is really excited about getting back together in person. We commiserated about our region and trying to get together in parks and weather situations, and connected on both having graduated from Sac State.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, Miss Judy, I'm gonna see if we can get you to unmute. Just asked you to unmute. You can click that button on your screen. Let's see. So we're looking for the unmute button. Let's see. Do you see your microphone in the bottom left-hand corner? Seems like you're clicking on your video button instead. So we need the, let's see, I'm going to ask you to unmute, and there should be a little pop-up. There you go.
Did that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Worked.
So Charlene is comes from a place near Lodi, and she doesn't really belong to a group at this point. She takes care of a companion or a friend of hers, and she's been doing that for 2 or 3 years, and so she wants to do more kinds of things. She does go to a caretakers group that's small. It helps out a little bit, and so that's one thing. And she's excited about her garden. She likes that, and also about she's preparing to run a 5K, and she thinks that this will help her get strong enough to really be a physical help to her person that she cares about.
Wow, that's great. Thank you both. So nice to meet you and welcome. Okay, moving to last but not least, Rick in Vacaville and Susan in Yuba City. There's Rick. Hi there. And Susan, our dancer. Okay, Rick, why don't you start?
Okay. I was talking with Susan from Yuba City, and she's kind of born and raised right there in Yuba City, had been there most of her life. She's been off in Phoenix and what have you, but mostly hanging right around Yuba City and Marysville. And she's leading a Parkinson's support group there now, and she's brand new at it. Even though the Parkinson's group's been there a long time, I think it's kind of a family thing, because her sister-in-law ran the group for 25 years. Susan, I get the right number of years? She ran it for years, and now she's stepping in to take over the group from her sister-in-law. So she's keeping it in the family. She was diagnosed with Parkinson's herself in 2016. So being a Parkinson's patient and leading the group, you guys all, I tell you what, I think you're doing a great job to be able to do that. I'm definitely impressed. Something that those of us that don't have that, it's hard enough on us. I can imagine having one more thing that just makes you try harder. That's outstanding. She gets excited about the Loud program. She's been starting to do that, and she's trying to do it now more for her group. And also she's excited about this Zoom stuff, right, Susan? She's been on a Zoom, but she's just really learning and getting into it. But she's really excited about being able to use Zoom and staying in contact with people. So with that, I'll shut up.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you for that intro. And Susan, if you could please, there you are, you're
Yeah,
unmuted.
I did it. Well, thank you very much, Rick. Hi, this is Rick. He is from Vacaville because he's been there for 40 plus years through, landed there because he was in the Navy, worked there for a while. And some of the work he did after the Navy, I believe it was in San Francisco for the Veterans Hospital. And it gave him some of the opportunity, some of the tools, if you will, to help facilitate a support group. And so he's done some of the background work on it, getting speakers, doing the IT type of stuff, if I'm right. And now he's stepping up and going to see where this goes with, as far as with our group. His wife has been diagnosed with Parkinson's since 1993. She was first diagnosed. And he's excited. You know what? I can't remember if I wrote that down, to be honest with you. Like, what was it again? Probably, you know what? I'm going to wing it. I'm going to say you're really excited to meet all of us today and look forward to seeing us this weekend.
And I'm really excited about memory training, which I was helping you with there. So
Good one.
What?
Just slid that one in there.
Okay.
Thanks to both of you.
Okay.
Wow. Ended on a happy note, a high note. But thank you. Wonderful. So if we could please go back to that gallery view now that the spotlights are off. Okay, so I am going to very quickly zoom through the plan for the rest of the week, and then I'm going to turn it over to Sean so he can go over his agenda. Okay, so this is our workshop for the week. Going from Zoom to Hugs and Handshakes, and that is directly stolen from Sean's mouth himself, from him. I loved that when we met about creating this workshop this year, and he just had that title, and I'm like, yes, I love it, and I hope that I can steal it. And so subtitle, Cultivating Wellness in Our New Normal, whatever that means, right? What is our new normal? We've got our 3 sessions. The first is on Friday, the 2 on Saturday, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. And so we have a lot to discuss and go over and learn about with each other. And let's see, just to make sure that we are checking off our list. We are going to need some of the materials to be printed. So hopefully you received the PDF that I sent in the email last night. And if you did not send or receive that email from me, let me know and I can resend that. So just go ahead and get that printed by Friday. That'd be great. We're asking you to please electronically sign that in-sync agreement. So I did get several received. So that is found also in the prep email from yesterday, I believe. It's been 24 hours. And then just to have a pen and paper available would be great. So I'm going to stop my share and see if there are any questions for us before we take off. I was thinking of just...
Susan Davis is raising her hand.
Yes, hi
Yes,
Susan.
Hi, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was unable to print out that PDF. And is it because it's a PDF or?
I'm not sure. It might just be your computer, and if you happen to have Adobe Acrobat, which is the application that handles the PDFs, if it's not like absolutely necessary, it's helpful to be able to refer to these things in front of you. Sometimes the print is very small on the screen, and so what I would say, Susan, is just to bring blank paper and a pen, and so you can write notes.
Oh, so I don't need to print it out.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't do it, then we'll make do and go ahead and just and write notes. Has anyone else had any trouble, or have you tried to print yet? Carolyn?
had some
Carmichael?
trouble too.
Oh,
Actually, would you mind resending the email? Some of us thought we had signed up and signed up literally an hour before.
Sure. I'll go ahead and just resend it to everybody on the registration list then.
Thank you.
Of course. Anything else before we turn it over to Sean?
Susan has her hand raised.
Ew.
The other Susan.
The other Susan.
All the
Thank
Susans
you.
have questions.
I know, isn't that funny? Thank you. One thing before I have a quick, I have a question, but I want to recognize Fred for helping me through this. I met him on the phone a couple of days ago. So he registered me because I'm not really there. So anyway, my question is, on the Zoom when I come in on Friday, is there, I kind of feel like I just came in through a side door because I didn't have a specific group name or I had the password. So am I going to come in the same way as I did just by going on that link?
Yes, that link
Okay.
will work for each of the sessions. It's the same link each time. And so I will resend that preparation email. And that link is, I think, large print and in purple or something like that. So it's easy to see, and you'll use the same link each time.
Easy, easy cheesy. Thank you. And thanks again, Fred.
Okay.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
Okay, Sean, if you'd like to take it away.
Yes, thank you, Shannon. And thanks everybody for being here today. This is really great to see the turnout and see the engagement and look forward to the week ahead. Just wanted to share with you from Parkinson Association's organizational updates. Wanted to make sure that you all aware as support group leaders, one of the main issues the board has been talking about, which includes Fred, which includes Carolyn, which includes Myron, which includes myself, and about 10 others, is really trying to reconnect with the support group leaders. We realize how difficult this year has been and trying to find ways so that you get the information you need about what PANC is doing. If PANC's partnering with like PMD, we're doing this through them. Without Shannon and Rachel helping us, this wouldn't happen. So really grateful for the partnership. And we really want to encourage all of you, if you haven't already gotten, Carolyn Loveridge is in charge of the newsletter, and that goes out free to whoever is interested. Just give PANC your mailing address and your email address, and we'll get that out to you. But it does provide quarterly information about all the things that are going on. These next couple of months are huge. This facilitators workshop is our big first event. October 18th is which is in Roseville, and it's a great event with Embark Arrows. And October 23rd conference. So October 23rd is really, you can Zoom in or you can come in person to Roseville and get the best education you can in the 3/4 of a day that you could ever imagine. So Jimmy Choi from America's Ninja Warrior is going to be our speaker. He's real connected to the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And we've just got a lot of great information and support teams to be there for you. So hopefully you can make that. We are trying to get an executive director. We've not had one since January. We're doing interviews this evening, as a matter of fact. And then for all of you who might be interested in serving on the board, we are in need of people with Parkinson's to serve on the board. We used to have the best person in this category in Jim Morris, and Jim last year, the year before, had to step down and do some other things. But we need somebody with a perspective from Parkinson's to be on the board, represent that voice. So if you're interested, let me know, let Myron know, let Carolyn know, let Fred know, tell you all about it. And we do have a board opening at this time. So with that, that's kind of where we're at. We are doing a huge outreach to Northern California with the Parkinson Foundation. So if you have friends, relatives, communities, neighbors, business associates who are in the Parkinson community in the far north counties, please let us know. Kim Hawkins is on the board as well, and she represents Reading, and she's about as far north as we go. Kim wants to get some friends in the north part of the state. So please let us know if you have any contacts there and get them connected to this great group. So that's all I have. Just thanks for being here. Really appreciate your time.
Okay, wonderful. So just want to make sure, Sean, the PD registry information, is that something you wanted to address today or a different time?
So at the conference and also on our website and in our newsletter, the Parkinson's Disease Registry, huge victory for California, huge victory for America, that they finally funded a registry that provides data about people with Parkinson's on an aggregate level, that talks about the numbers and the gender, the incidence and prevalence. That registry is now fully funded and will be forevermore, thanks to the legislature and the governor signing that law into place. They are also expanding into other neurological disorders, into Huntington's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease, and other neurological, Alzheimer's, etc. So it's a big deal for California, and Michael J. Fox and his team have been pushing hard for this to happen, and PANC's had a big part of that. And it's really it's a great new resource. And when that data comes out, we'll finally have some hardcore numbers that talk about how big and how expansive this disease is. And that helps us get more programs, more funding, more support for all of you and your members. So stay tuned and come to the conference and learn all about it. It's going to be great to hear more about it and where they're at.
Wow, a lot of great things happening in California.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So great to meet you all, and look at it. We have 1 minute to spare. Whew, we just slid right in there, didn't we, before the top of the hour. So yes, so great to have you all here. Looking forward to Friday and Saturday. Please let me know if you have any difficulties, technical issues. I'm going to resend that prep email. Otherwise, we will see you on Friday afternoon, and greatly looking forward to it. All right.
Bye, everybody. Have a great evening. Great
Take
to see you.
care. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.